All right, let's look at buying or leasing a car. And yeah, let's just go through it. So, biggest questions if you're gonna buy a car is what do you want and what do you need? Right? Sometimes those things are the same, sometimes those things are different, right? So there's different aspects to buying a car. And there's a lot of different terminology here. So the sticker price of the car, usually called the manufacturer's suggested retail price, or MSRP. If you've seen any car commercial at all, they always pull out the MSRP. And I couldn't tell you for the longest time what that stood for. So the suggested retail price. Or the negotiated price that you arrive at is not the end cost of buying a car. There are lots of fees that go into it, taxes, all the things. So, the title and registration fee. It's going to include registering your car with the state, getting your license plate, and assigning the title of the car to the lender. And you can't skip those steps when you're buying a car. Destination fee. So if you're getting the car delivered, there's going to be a fee. A documentation fee. So sometimes all the processing of the paperwork comes at a cost, and that cost is for you. A dealer preparation fee. So that's if the dealership is going to wash or prepare the car. And a lot of car buying is all about negotiating. So there are things that you can negotiate out of. Extended warranties and maintenance plans. So depends on what you got going on. Depends on what kind of plan you want for that. I actually just bought a new car in October, and they kept trying to sell me on getting the extended warranties and all this stuff, and I was like, listen, I am a teacher. I don't get paid a lot. I don't have the money for all this extra stuff. I want the lowest cost to me. And he kept trying to say, like, well, if your car breaks, like, you can bring it here, yada, yada, yada. And my dad is a car person. So I was like, no, if my car breaks, the first person it is going to is my dad. And, that was a whole argument. But yeah, he wasn't going to get me on that extra freaking monthly payment. I can tell you that. So yeah, let's look at a scenario. So Nicole negotiates with her car dealership so that the price is $21,800, but she needs to pay a 6.75% sales tax. And then she's got some other fees, $31 for the title and registration, $1,000 for the destination fee, and documentation fee of $175. So what's the total cost of the car? Well, all right. We want to take the original 21,800 and add all these fees. So we want to add 31. We want to add 1,000, add 175, and then we want to add the tax. So the tax is the 6.75% of that 21,800, which gives me 1,471.50. So let's add all of this up. And I get a grand total of 24,477.50. All right. Let's look at another scenario. So, all right, we've negotiated a price of $19,800. Sales tax is 9.5%. Dealership charges $300 in documentation fees. The title plate and registration comes to $321.50. And the dealership adds a destination fee of $1,100. And then she's putting a down payment. So what's the total she's going to have to finance the car for? So let's find out. So we have the car price itself. I'll do the tax in a minute. We've got the $300 in fees, the $321.50 in fees, the $1,100 in fees. And let's do the tax. So 19,800, and we want 9.5% of that. Gives me 1,881. And then, I guess I should also subtract off the down payment of what, 5,000? All right, so let me add and subtract all of this. So plus 300, plus 321.50, plus 1,100, 1,881. And then I'll subtract off that down payment, and I get 18,402.50. That's how much she is going to have to get financed. All right. All right, here's another payment formula for us, right? We definitely could use that formula, or we can use our lovely friend Excel or Google Sheets, whichever one you prefer. So we want to finance $31,885 with an interest rate of 2.9% for 5 years. So if we go into Google Sheets or Excel, we want payment 0.029 out of 12. Then we want the periods, so it's going to be 12 times 5. You can put in 60. And then the amount we are financing. All right. So if we type that in, I'm not going to keep going back and forth. So I'm just going to write the formula, and then I've done it off to the side. So I get 571.52. Let's do another one. So 22,788, 4.5%, and 6 years. So equals payment 22,778. Our percent. Oh, I don't know why I did that first. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. We do our rate 0.045 out of 12. And then 12 times 6, you can put 72, or just have Excel do it. And then our 22,778. And we should get 361.58. Okay. Then you could do the amortization schedule and figure out how much is it actually going to cost you in the end. But yeah. All right, and then last piece here is, maybe there's some extra costs on top of what was already talked about just at the dealership. So you actually have to, and I didn't know you had to do this beforehand, and maybe that's on me. But it was a good thing I went and did it beforehand. You have to have proof of insurance, even if you don't have the car yet, which is kind of crazy. But car insurance, there's liability insurance, there's collision insurance, comprehensive, uninsured or underinsured motorist insurance, medical payments, personal injury protection, gap insurance, and rental reimbursement insurance. So, yeah. Different kind of insurances that add on to your costs. I think it's ridiculous, if you want my personal opinion. My old car was a 2012 Chevy Cruze, and I had that since I was 16, and it was finally slowly dying out on me, right? And it wasn't supposed to last as long as it did, to be honest. Even the person that sold it to us had said, holy cow, you still had that and it was still running. So I got it in 2012, and then 2025 is when I decided to get a new one. But my insurance was only $100, and I was like, perfect, great. And I called my place of insurance, and I was like, hey, I'm getting a new car. This is the car. How much would it be for that insurance? And they were like, it was either 200 or 300 or something. And I was like, oh, okay, absolutely not. And so I went to a place my friend recommended, and I just needed insurance, so I just took it. But that guy was so rude to me that I was like, dang, I just don't want to get my insurance here. But it is what it is. But it's ridiculous. I think I paid 200 some in insurance. So if you know of a place that has cheaper insurance and you want to help a girl out, gladly switch over. Because I was just in shock of the difference. And the guy's like, well, there's a lot more technology in your car now. And if that breaks, it's more expensive to fix. And I was like, okay. And even him and the guy where I bought my car from, they were like, oh, like, how long do you keep a car? And I was like, till it dies. Like, why would I not? And so, yeah. Sorry for that rant. I apparently needed to get that out. But hopefully that was entertaining to you. But yeah. So that is all about cars. Well, we didn't, I guess, talk about leasing a car. But basically, leasing a car is kind of like renting an apartment. Some dealerships you can sign on for however many years, and then when that is up, you just bring the car back, and you get a new one and start over. I personally have not gone through that process of leasing a car. I want to say my dad did, but I was really little, so I don't remember much. I just remember he got a different car every so often, and I was like, why? And then it didn't like process to me. But yeah. So if you have any questions, if you stuck around for this long, just let me know.